So the book today is called Farm Fresh Cats by Scott Santoro. Farmer Ray was an ordinary man. Norma was his ordinary wife. Farmer Ray loved all the animals on his farm, and so did Norma. And all the animals loved them. It was a very happy and ordinary little farm. But one night, something happened. No one ever found out exactly what it was, but everyone agreed that it must have been something extraordinary. The next morning, Farmer Ray was eager to check on his cabbage crop. He got a big surprise. Farmer Ray noticed right away that instead of nice green cabbage heads, there were nice green cat heads peeking out of the ground. They looked at him with their strange orange eyes. So here's all the strange cats with their orange eyes. "Why, that's funny," said Farmer Ray. "I was sure I planted cabbages." He brought Norma out to show her. "How very odd," she said. "I've never seen green cats before." They agreed, however, that the cats were a very nice crop. And there they are, checking the cat crop. A few weeks later, the cats were mewing at Farmer Ray, and it seemed to him that they wanted to be picked. There he is with his hoe, going to see if the cats are ready. Though it was hard to tell which ones were ripe, Farmer Ray and Norma picked some and took them to the house. Some were picked too early, so those are little cats, and some were picked too late. Those are big fat cats. The regular cats were suspicious of them from the start. So there's her house cats, and these are the cats that grew in the cabbage patch. Their litter box became a flower garden, which Norma found charming. "Why, these cats are no more trouble than houseplants," she said happily. "They didn't even chase mice." "They do shed," said Farmer Ray, "and I think there are more of them every day." So if you look around their house, there are cats everywhere now. Every fur ball that rolled under the television or lodged between the sofa cushions sprouted a new cat. In just a few weeks, there were hundreds and hundreds of them on the rooftops, in the cellar, in the barn, in the trees. They were everywhere. The other animals threatened to leave unless something was done. Farmer Ray was worried. "What shall we do?" he asked. "We have more cats than we have vegetables." "I have no idea," said Norma. So here's his farm animals, and they are tired of cats, and they are going to leave. The city people who usually stopped by at Farmer Ray and Norma's stand to buy vegetables were all very busy. They loved the idea of having pets that were no more trouble than potted plants. Soon they called all their busy friends on their cell phones. As quickly as those city people arrived, the cats were all gone. So here they are. They were selling farm fresh vegetables, and now they're selling farm fresh cats. No muss, no fuss. These cats are easy to take care of. Farmer Ray and Norma had a lovely picnic on the lawn. The happy little farm was no longer extraordinary, and all the animals were happy again. That night, Farmer Ray and Norma looked up at the sky and thought that just for a moment, the man in the moon looked like a cat. "I don't think we've seen the last of them," whispered Farmer Ray. And there's the man in the moon, and he does look like a cat. What do you think? So there's one cat in a pot growing in the city. All right. So we're going to do a cat craft, and I've used some wine corks. So you can either buy these at a craft store or you can recycle them from wine bottles that you might have at home. So the first part of the cat craft is to make his legs. So each leg is made out of 2 corks glued together. So we've got 4 legs, but the corks are actually glued. So I've pre-glued these 2 corks together and these 2 corks together. And it does take some time for the corks to dry, so you might want to glue them and then wait for them to dry nice and solid. I don't think taping will probably work as well with these, so you do need to be patient and let the glue dry. So there's the 4 legs to start. I then glued another set of 2 corks together. So we've got these 2 to form part of the body. So I'm going to put some glue on those. And the legs were a little bit closer together in the back than the front. So I've got my glue on there, and I'm going to set them down. And I'm going to probably not pick it up for you because it needs to set. So now we've got the legs and this section done. And then these 2 are glued together, and this one is just sitting in the back here. So I've got another 2 glued together. And what I did is I just laid them on top of a single cork. So I'll try to show you from the side here. I laid those like that, and I put that cork in there. So we need to glue all of those together. So I'm going to add some more glue here on both of those. So now at this point we've got glue on top of there. And I'm going to set that on. And I'm going to take my last cork and lean it in there so that that can rest on there. So that makes up the body of the cat. So it's very fragile until it dries nicely, and it is going to take a while to dry. So after you've done all that, you can add your features of your cat. So I have some nice brown paper here, just a piece of construction paper. Your cat can be any color you want, so if you want a black cat or an orange cat. So I've just cut the tips off of a piece to make some triangles, and each of those will be my ears. I set those on my cat. I have my bag of eyes. And I'm going to put the glue right on the eyes. So now everything's got glue on it. We have to be careful not to knock it or bump it so it doesn't fall apart. And then I have pieces of pipe cleaner that I am going to attach for whiskers. So each of those pieces is going to take some time to dry and stick. So you may need to hold them for a minute on your cat. So now your cat's very fragile because you've got all pieces of glue that haven't dried yet. patient with your whiskers, trying to get them to stick. So that brings us to this, and then you can do a little nose. So I did a brown nose on my first cat, but some cats have a pink nose. And I'm just going to shape that a little bit. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a rounded curve on my cat nose. You can make your cat nose however you want. Sort of made a little bit of a curved diamond. And I'll stick that on there. So once your kitty's all dry, you've patiently waited for all your pipe cleaners to stick on, you're going to have a cat.